Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I'm your host Talia and I once again welcome you to a series of program of BS level biology under the subject code 4401. Students, as we are gradually moving ahead, you would find each lesson more challenging and interesting. But here we are trying our level best to clarify all the ambiguities and confusions to the best of our abilities. Now let's welcome our expert, Dr. Muhammad Azad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So what's our topic of discussion for today?
Talia, today we are going to continue the applied aspect of our previous topic. So previously we discussed about the genetics, and today we are going to discuss that how we are going to insert gene, how we are going to remove gene to have desirable trait in the living organism. So that is the applied branch of the genetics, which is called as genetic engineering or gene technology. Dear students, up till now we have gone with the molecular basis of inheritance. We know the structure of DNA, we know that gene is going to regulate everything, we know how the gene is transcribed and then how it is being translated. So now we know each and everything. Now scientists are going to play with the gene. They are going to manipulate with the gene. This led to a applied branch of biology which is called as recombinant DNA technology or genetic engineering journal. So today we are going to discuss the main basic principles of this gene technology, and in the end of our lesson we'll be going with the applications of this gene technology. So starting with our slide presentation. What is genetic engineering or gene technology? So by definition, genetic engineering, that is also known as recombinant DNA technology, means altering the genes in a living organism to produce a genetically modified organism with a new genotype. Various kinds of genetic modifications are possible. One, inserting a foreign gene from one species into another, forming a transgenic organisms. Second possibility is alteration of an existing gene so that its product is changed. And the third possibility is changing gene expression so that it is translated more often or not at all. Genetic engineering, this is why it is called as a recombinant DNA technology. So we are going to cut the DNA from one organism and join it with DNA from another organism, like human gene for insulin into bacteria, multiply and make insulin for diabetics. So this is the, you can say, the bacterial DNA. This is the human gene for insulin we are going to insert, and this was the first success story. And we have just gone to the extreme of cloning of animals. So this is the sheep Dolly, which was the first animal made by the gene cloning. Human genetic clonings, that is banned. These experiments are not allowed all over the world. Going with the steps in genetic engineering. So first step is isolation of a gene of interest. Second, isolation of plasmid DNA. Third, manipulation of DNA sequence, cutting the DNA with the help of enzyme restriction endonucleases, and then splicing the DNA with the help of DNA ligase, then transformation of bacteria, and this is the insertion in it a host using a vector, and then selection of correct bacteria, and finally separation and purification of the product of the gene technology. So going with the first step, isolating the genes. So here you are going to look at the sequence of DNA. We already know that these are the nitrogenous bases which are there. So restriction enzymes, they are going to cut down the DNA at a specific base sequence, like this DNA is cut at that AATTCA, and here this is the AATTCA. This is the, you can say, the reverse copy of that. So first isolation of gene by cutting with restriction endonucleases. Another alternative method of isolation of gene is using the enzyme reverse transcriptase. So mRNA converted into copy DNA, complementary strand produced using DNA polymerase. So advantages is that we are going to produce more RNA in a cell than in DNA. Students, basically this technique using the reverse transcriptase. That was the initial technique which was used because we don't know where the gene is located. So let's say if in case of insulin production, we are going to isolate one of the beta cell and we are going to take messenger RNA from there. Normally DNA makes RNA and this is called as transcription. But if we want to make DNA from RNA, that is a reverse process and this is called as reverse transcription, and it is carried by one of the enzyme called as reverse transcriptase. So we can make complementary DNA by using mRNA from any cell. So first we have to isolate the mRNA which is having all the codes for that specific product, then treating it with the reverse transcriptase to make a complementary DNA. So continuing our slideshow. So this was about this reverse transcriptase, that how it is going to work. Looking at one of the animation, this is one of the eukaryotic DNA strand, and this strand will be having the active portion called as exons and inactive portions called as introns. So RNA polymerase is going to make a copy of that in the form of messenger RNA and this precursor messenger RNA. So these inactive parts, they are taken away, they are spliced, and the actual messenger RNA that is present here. Now in case of prokaryotic cell, because the intron or exons are not there, so this process is not going to happen, and this is very, very precise only for eukaryotic cell DNA. So prokaryotic DNA, it is synthesized directly, while the eukaryotic, so it is the introns which are made in the messenger RNA, they are being spliced. Let's say this is one of the messenger RNA strand, and this messenger RNA strand, now it is being treated by enzyme reverse transcriptase. So exact copy of that is made in the form of single stranded DNA, while the DNA is always double stranded. So double stranded DNA is made by using the DNA polymerase for DNA replication, and this is called as a complementary DNA, exactly having the same codes, same information which were there in the messenger RNA. Students, after isolation of gene, the next step is that this gene must be inserted in some of the expressive system. And you must have studied at lower level that the bacteria are very rapidly reproducing organisms. Most of the bacteria, they are going to grow very rapidly. Like if I am going to give you example of E. coli, one of the bacteria in our intestine, if there is one bacteria in whole of this room and you are going to provide ideal condition. Ideal condition means a lot of nutrients are present, ideal temperature, ideal pH, no limitation of space. So what will be there in 24 hours? Whole of this room will be filled by the bacteria. So they are so rapidly reproducing organisms. So there was the idea that if we are going to insert this gene in bacteria, bacteria are going to multiply at a very rapid rate. So this gene is also going to multiply at a very rapid rate, and every bacteria is going to act as a factory to produce that product. So scientists thought about that how we can insert this gene in the bacteria, and in our previous program we discussed about the plasmids, which are extra chromosomal rings of DNA present in case of bacteria. So we are now isolating these plasmids using these as a vector. So what the vectors are, again going to our slides, the term vector here refers to some DNA molecules that can carry a DNA fragments into a host cell for the purpose of replication. So the vectors include mainly the plasmid, but sometimes the bacteriophage DNA or viral DNA is also used for the same purpose. So these are the plasmid. This is the main chromosome of prokaryotic cell, and this is a extra chromosomal ring plasmid. We can remove this plasmid from these bacteria, and we are going to cut down this plasmid, and this is our isolated gene of interest. We are going to insert this gene of interest within this plasmid, and this is a recombinant DNA. Now this DNA is made up of DNA of bacterial plasmid, and this is the part of human DNA. That is why this is called as recombinant DNA, DNA belonging to the two different organisms, and this is possible due to the use of vectors. Then human genes and the plasmid, how they are being ligated. So ligation of sticky ends are there. Sticky ends are complementary to each others, and this is the DNA ligase that is going to ligate these with the help of first it is the hydrogen bond, later on these are the phosphodiesterase bond between the sugar phosphate molecule which are made. So blunt ends, they are being ligated by addition of a sequence like TTT, and the complementary to that is AAA. So they are going to act as a sticky ends, and then they are going to cause a ligation, and again DNA ligase is going to ligate all of these fragments. So these are the artificial linkers, like we have added GGG, CCC or TTT for AAA. All of these are the artificial linker for linking the plasmid DNA and the human DNA. So these are the restriction enzyme which are going to cut down into fragments, and then these joining of the fragments with the help of these cohesive ends or the sticky ends. So this was the vector, and this was cut like that from restriction endonucleases, and this is the recombinant DNA. Antibiotic resistant genes are usually present on the plasmids. So this is the gene for ampicillin resistant, and this is the gene for tetracycline resistant, and these resistant genes are used for the identification of the bacteria which have taken our, you can say, the recombinant DNA. Like if we are going to grow these bacteria colonies with recombinant plasmid, here the more bacteria are there with the tetracycline, here some bacteria they are not going to grow, only those bacteria which are resistant to both of these they are going to grow. So we are going to identify which bacteria have taken which plasmids. So this is the insertion of vector into the host cell. This is the bacterial DNA, and then we are going to insert these plasmid within these bacterial DNA, and we are going to you can say by the various antibiotics we are going to identify those bacteria that have taken these recombinant DNA. So then multiplication of host cell by cloning, large scale fermenters are used for cloning, and all genetically identical because of asexual reproduction, and all of these are going to produce the product. Finally we are going to extract the desired product, and we are going to purify the product. Why do genetic engineering? Can we take a question here from Talia?
So what are the practical applications of genetic engineering or gene technology?
Lot of practical application is there. The story starts with the production of insulin. There are many diabetics, those who are dependent on insulin. So they are called as insulin dependent diabetics. Previously they were using the insulin, and that insulin was isolated by slaughtering the animal, cows, buffaloes, pigs, they are being slaughtered. We are taking their pancreas, then isolation of insulin from the pancreas, and that was the insulin for 2-3 days supply for one person. So that was a messy process, a time consuming process, costly process, and again that insulin was the insulin of a pig, cow or buffalo, not the human insulin. Many people were allergic to that, and there were many deaths which were reported. Now we are using the human insulin gene, that is exactly the human insulin which is produced, and this is not only the insulin, a lot of other products they are being produced, and we are producing transgenic animal, transgenic plant to have desirable trait. So again going with the details of all of these application in the form of slideshow. So practical application, why do genetic engineering is required? So product desired, there are a lot of list is there which are produced in vitro. So it is not only the insulin but human growth hormones. We are producing factor 8 for hemophilia and many other products they are being produced. Secondly, we are going to produce transgenic plant. We are inserting the gene in the plants to have desirable trait that they must be giving us more crop, better quality of crops, and they must be resistant to pest, and they can go with the, you can say, undesirable environmental conditions. The third application that we are going to produce transgenic animals. So those animals which are going to give us more meat, more milk, more eggs. So all of these traits we are going to introduce the gene for these traits. And finally, in humans there were a lot of diseases were there which were having no treatment, but there is a hope that we are going to treat these diseases with the help of gene therapy. DNA is basically cloned, this gene which we have made. So we are going to clone this DNA. It involves separating a specific gene or a segment of DNA from its larger chromosome and then attaching it to a small molecule of carrier DNA and then replicating this modified DNA in thousands or even millions of times. So this is the DNA cloning. We are going to cut down these genes, then we are going to just cut down these plasmid. After this insertion of these genes in the plasmid, then the plasmids, they are grown in the fermenters, and ultimately we are going to have a lot of copies of these genes. This is called as gene cloning or DNA cloning. So this is a recombinant DNA technology, and this is by artificial means, not the natural. We are going to have any of the combination of the genes. The enzymology, that is the different enzymes which are used in this process. So mainly these are the restriction endonucleases, DNA polymerase, reverse transcriptase, DNA ligase, alkaline phosphatase, terminal transferase, and Taq DNA polymerase are the enzymes which are commonly used in this process. A bit detail of the restriction endonucleases. So these can recognize special sequence and cleave the DNA at specific base sequence. Type 2 can recognize palindromic sequence. So here if you are going to look at, so these are the 6 bases which are complementary to each. G is complementary to C, G for C, A for T, T for A, G, C for G, C for G. So this palindromic sequence, this is basically invert. So palindromic sequence is called as inverted repeat sequence, which means the nucleotide sequence in 5' to 3' direction is the same in both the strands. And here let us say this is the EcoR1 which is going to cut down at that sequence. The other enzymes, they are going to cut at the different sequence. Some are going to produce the single stranded ends called as sticky end, some are going to produce blunt ends. So these are the restriction endonucleases, also called as molecular scissors. So scissors to cut down the molecules, and these are called as palindromic, like EcoR1. Eco for the bacteria E. coli from which it is being extracted, R mean restriction and 1 mean enzyme number 1, and this is going to cut in this format that this fragment with AATTC is going to separate from this fragment which is going to have TTAA. Looking at one of the animation of these restriction endonucleases. Restriction endonucleases, basically these are the enzymes that cleave DNA at specific nucleotide sequence. Let us say this is the sequence here, like we have gone with EcoR1, that is GAATTC. This is the restriction site for that specific enzyme, and more than you can say 2000 of such enzymes they have been isolated. All of these, they are having specific complementary sites. So these complementary sites, they are in the reverse form. Whatever is there, the reverse form is there on the other strand, and then what is going to happen, that this is the enzyme restriction endonuclease EcoR1. It is going to cut it in the fragments like that, and this is going to produce these sticky ends. They can again have the tendency to combine with each other. So these enzymes which are going to cleave the DNA into the fragments, leaving these single stranded, you can say, the areas which are having the affinity to bind it again. So these are called as restriction fragments, and they are having the tendency to combine with the similar complementary bonds later on. So they can have this tendency to combine with these. So these enzymes, a lot of these enzymes are there, but we have to trace the first story, success story of the genetic engineering, that is production of human insulin. So the steps which are involved in the human insulin production. So first, isolation of human cells and growing these cells in the tissue culture, then isolating the DNA from the human cell. The next step is isolate DNA from the human cell and cut with the help of these restriction endonucleases, and then meantime isolate the plasmid DNA from a bacterium. The next step, so using the same restriction enzyme, we are going to cut down the plasmid, and then we are going to insert this human gene into the bacterial gene. So these are the hydrogen bonds which are being produced, and these open ends, they are being repaired by DNA ligase. So this is the recombinant DNA, and this recombinant DNA is inserted into the expressive system of bacteria, and these bacteria are going to act as you can say the factories for us, where every cell is going to produce insulin, and these are the large fermenters. So this is a picture of a fermenters in which we are going to grow these bacteria. Each bacteria is going to make the insulin. We are going to kill the bacteria, and then we are going to purify the insulin by the help of you can say the various chemical methods. By the help of various chemical methods, and this is the humuline insulin. This is the insulin which is using the code for humans.
So what are the advantages of this human insulin?
Yes, Talia, basically this human insulin is using the human code, so there is no chance of allergy. It is acceptable to all. At any time of year, we can produce any amount of insulin. So initially it was costly, but now on the large scale production it is cheaper, and it is not going to activate our immune response. It is going to have a very rapid and quick response in our body, and people know that this is the human insulin, not from pig. So Muslims are not going to use the insulin from pigs. So that is why this is having lot of advantages over the insulin which we were using previously, which was isolated from the different animals. Continuing our slideshow, starting with the animation of these steps. So this is one of the plasmid, and these are the molecular scissors, the restriction endonucleases that have cut down this part of plasmid. This is the human gene for insulin. It is being inserted there within the plasmid vector, and then these plasmids are acted, they are there in the bacteria, and then bacteria are going to proliferate multiple copies, and each of this bacteria is going to produce insulin. So these are the you can say the steps of this first successful story of production of insulin by using the genetic engineering or gene technology. Going with the early genetic engineering experiments. So these experiments, they are conducted by Cohen and Boyers in 1973. They showed that the gene for the frog ribosomal RNA could be transferred and expressed in the bacterial cells. So this is the ribosomal RNA gene. This is one of the plasmid. This is one of the EcoR1 restriction site. This is one of the tetracycline resistant gene. This is EcoR1 restriction fragment that is going to break down the DNA into different fragments. And this fragment, that is ribosomal RNA gene, that is also isolated. So the same enzyme is used to cut down these plasmids, and DNA ligase is going to ligate these ends, and these are the recombinant DNAs. Now only this recombinant DNA is having a specific genes. So all of these, they are just transferred to the tetracycline. So this is one of the culture media plate. Growth medium contain the antibiotic tetracycline. Only those bacteria which are resistant to the tetracyclines, so they are going to grow, and these bacteria, so they will be having the frog ribosomal RNA. So cells in the colony, frog ribosomal RNA, they are going to grow. So others, they are not going to grow. So we have isolated and identified these genes. Then we are going to grow these genes in a special media, and then we can isolate this product. By this process of isolation of gene, we have created a library which is called as the complement DNA library, which represent the population of mRNAs. It only contains the exons portion of structural gene. So mRNA treated with reverse transcriptase, making this complementary DNA. They are being replicated to form double-stranded complementary DNA, and then they are there in the vector, and then the vectors are used at the time we are going to combine. So we are going to prepare a complementary DNA library, and whole of the human genome that is being isolated at the moment. Dear students, today we discussed about principles of gene technology, and for this gene technology, first we have to isolate the gene of interest. There are three methods. One, treating mRNA with the reverse transcriptase. Second, cutting by restriction endonucleases. And third, if a gene is very small, we can make the gene in the lab. And then the steps remains the same. After isolation, insertion in a plasmid vector, then insertion of vector in the expressive system of bacteria, growth of bacteria under ideal environment, and then isolating the product from the bacterial factory and purification of product and using the product for the purpose for which it is being manufactured. So that is all from today's program.
Thank you so much, sir, for today's informative lecture.
Welcome.
So students, I hope that you have gathered maximum amount of knowledge from today's lecture. And for further information, you can also consult your textbooks. Now students, I would like to summarize today's lecture for you. In today's lecture, we discussed about the basic principles of genetic engineering, also known as recombinant DNA technology. And we also discussed about the steps which are involved in making the products using this gene technology. And especially we discussed about the production of insulin. So students, that was all from today's program. Inshallah, see you in the next program with more marvelous facts of life. Now your host Talia and our expert Dr. Muhammad Azad would sign off from the program. Till next time, take care of yourself, stay tuned to the program. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.